Hallo meine lieben Abenteuerfreunde da draußen und herzlich willkommen zurück bei der Ballad. Wir haben hier die Frage im Raum, wollen wir für eine freundliche Dorfgemeinschaft unser Bardentum auspacken, das heißt ein Liedchen trällern, oder eben nicht? Und ich bin der Meinung, wir sind hier unter Freunden, denn die Geschichte dazu habt ihr beim letzten Mal mitbekommen. Wenn nicht, dann solltet ihr die letzte Folge nochmal anschauen und wir trällern jetzt ein Liedchen.
Of course, you reply with a smile on your face. You stand up as everyone turns quiet and start singing a ballad. Your talent as a bard charms the village dwellers. Night falls on men's hearts, mist rises on women's souls. Sooner or later the sun shall fade, moon's here to light the world. A flame yet burns in the camp's midst, warming desires like a bright fire, one moment of peace, one moment of light. The people applaud you for several minutes. Melanir's heart had already been touched by that song in the past. It's a love anthem, nostalgic though it may be.
So, will you come hunting with us tomorrow?
Ulist asks you. I'd love to, my friend. The feast goes on with jokes, laughter and dancing.
Immerhin haben wir jetzt hier gute Laune verbreitet und jetzt geht's dann wohl auf die Jagd am Tag danach. Ich fand's cool, wie er gesungen hat.
Ulist wakes you up, and after you get dressed, he hands you over a black spear, along with a knife with a blade as long as your forearm.
Don't take the rapiers. They'd just be an impediment. Take this knife. It'll be much more useful.
You accept and leave your weapons at home. Without adding anything else, you head for the forest. It's first light, and it's not too hot yet. This is the perfect moment to hunt. The animals have just woken up, and you have a good chance of catching them by surprise. So, what are we hunting for? You ask Ulist.
They're called saprifix. They're large birds with small wings. They can't fly. Their beak, though, it's as sharp as an eagle's, and they're about the size of bears. They protect their nests strenuously, and they don't fear man.
So, easy prey, huh? You caustically reply. Ulist smiles.
Come on, old man, and be quiet. There's one leaving the nest right now.
What your friend just called a nest is really a cave, with a stagnating and smelly water pool right outside. The creature is exactly as he described it. It's not alone either. Another one exits the cavern, and their call reminds you of an eagle's. You're on a hill with a great vantage point, and with even numbers. However, you are in their territory, and given the prey's size, the hunt is dangerous. You can't talk, or you'll be heard by the saprifix. Therefore, you'll use some signs you agreed upon. A closed fist with the index finger signals to launch the weapon. A closed fist signals to approach the animals and stab them. Ulist leaves the choice up to you.
Closed Fist and Index oder Closed Fist? Also im Grunde, wenn ich das richtig verstanden habe, a Closed Fist with the Index finger signals to launch the weapons, also Fernkampf. Ich bin der Meinung, wir sollten nah rangehen. Die sind zwar gefährlich, aber wir versuchen es einfach. Ich glaube, wir sind im Nahkampf besser.
You fly down the hill with the spears aimed at the saprifix. The two monsters turn abruptly, but they're not fast enough. The tips of the spears drive through their flesh. It was a great choice. The spears allow for a longer range, and you caught the saprifix by surprise.
Great job, Daragast. You haven't lost your touch.
You smile, patting your friend on the back. You skin your prey and head back to the village.
Ja, ich habe nämlich schon gedacht, das war nämlich genau mein Gedanke, wenn wir nämlich die Speere geworfen hätten, angenommen wir hätten die meisten getroffen, aber nicht alle, dann hätten wir nur noch Messer gehabt und Messer gegen solche Tiere, wie er sie beschrieben hat, hätte ich jetzt nicht so gut gefunden. Deswegen lieber direkt mit den Speeren kämpfen. Ich meine, so erlegt man auch, oder erlegte man früher auch Wildschweine mit der Saufeder. Das war auch ein ziemlich massiver Speer, den hat man aber nicht geworfen, sondern man hat die Sau quasi wirklich auflaufen lassen. gegen den Speer, der entsprechend halt konstruiert war, dass die Sau da nicht durchrennt. Die hatte dann so ähnlich wie so eine Lanze quasi, so, ja, im Grunde wie so eine Art Prellbock, wenn ihr versteht, was ich meine, war so in den Schaft des Speers eingearbeitet. Also, es ist einfach sinnvoller, sage ich jetzt mal, gegen solche brutalen Viecher halt einfach einen Reichweitenvorteil zu haben und das Biest damit quasi zu besiegen. Und es hat geklappt. Wir können zurück zum Dorf. Wahrscheinlich wären wir gestorben.
As you come back to the village, the residents claim the spoils. Melanir has already prepared your lunch, and you all sit around the table, the children laughing and eating heartily. Over the next few days, you dedicate yourself to hunting and smuggling. This lifestyle reminds you of your past as a mercenary, and you could get used to it. Your life would be much more peaceful. On the second night, while you're drinking some beer with your friend, sitting outside the hut, the mood grows tense.
So, it's time to choose, my friend.
Ulist tells you seriously, and?
I'll join the resistance, unless you'd rather stay here and become a smuggler.
You didn't expect the offer. It seems you're facing quite the dilemma. The lifestyle he's offering is tempting, and you need to choose wisely. You won't be able to turn back.
Okay. Also, das heißt, wenn er jetzt uns beitritt, müssen wir im Gegenzug hier bleiben und den Schmugglern beitreten. Oh, fuck. Ach komm, bleiben wir romantisch. Solange wir Anchoran wiedersehen dürfen, können wir alles machen.
I can't stay, Ulist. I have many reasons to go back, but Anchoran is the most important. I want to see her again. Your friend nods.
I'll leave for Ismarin in a few days. We'll meet there.
I'll be leaving tomorrow. I have a few things to tend to first. Then we'll meet in the forest in a few days' time. Raymond will welcome you with open arms.
Okay, das habe ich jetzt nicht ganz verstanden. Also, wir lehnen im Grunde das Angebot ab, aber er kommt anscheinend trotzdem mit. Keine Ahnung. Aber okay.
You wake up at first light. Despite all of yesterday's struggles, you're well rested and think of your next moves. You need to get back on the road, so you ready your horse and jump in the saddle. After a few days' travel, you reach the shining city of Athenios. You know your way around well. You took part in the city games many times when you were younger. You won most of the time. That's how you got your nickname, Snake. Walking through the city, merchants and mercenaries enliven the streets. The gladiator events are taking place. This is the most flourishing period of the year for Athenios. The walls are covered with posters of the finals of the gladiator fights. One of the two finalists is your old friend, Carcass, so you head to the arena. You find a high seat in the bleachers, far from the center of the stadium. The fighters make their entrance, wielding blunt weapons. Fights to the death are banned in Athenios, even though accidents may occur. Only Tibosh allows last blood fights, as they're much more remunerative for fighters. You study Carcass and his long hair, still black as night, tied into a ponytail. His mighty musculature is highlighted by the sun. His opponent is younger, and just as imposing with his head bald and shiny. You feel a jolt of excitement and adrenaline, almost tasting the song of steel. It takes you back in time. You'd like to be in there, fighting for glory. You'd still be able to. The thought's time was long enough. The fight is already over. Carcass disarmed his adversary and is now standing above him, 1 foot on his chest. The crowd cheers, applauding the winner. Gladiator fights never last more than 5 or 6 exchanges. You climb down the bleachers, waiting for your friend where the crowd is gathered to see him from up close. A metal fence separates them from the arena, supervised by soldiers. Carcass prances around, taking homages until he gets to you. Wow, it's been so long, you ox, you cry out as he shakes your hand absent-mindedly.
You!
He drags you out of the crowd as if you were light as a feather, hugging you tight. The crowd bursts into applause.
I thought you were dead,
says Carcass. You thought wrong, is your reply.
What brings you here?
Let's talk about it with some ale after you're done celebrating.
At the Black Tankard Inn, then, for dinner.
Carcass offers. I'll see you later, then. The guards let you through as you leave the arena, headed for the inn. You negotiate a price for a meal, a bed, and to stable your horse. Despite the people rushing in, you're sure to have a place here. As dinner time approaches, Carcass hasn't arrived. You're hungry and decide to order without waiting for him, when a huge, hairless man with green eyes sits at your table, scowling. It's the man who lost against Carcass.
You're that bastard's friend!
He's drunk and sluggish, and you decide to ignore him. Despite this, however, he grabs the table, hurling it in the hall. The tavern's customers grow silent. What do you want?
Satisfaction,
He replies.
Hey! Out of here, both of you!
The barkeep yells.
Out with me, pig!
He's trying to take his defeat out on somebody, and you're the scapegoat. Death fights aren't allowed in the arena, but honor badges and duels are another thing altogether. Let's go. You take your rapiers, and the man precedes you into the street. A circle of curious bystanders forms around you. Your opponent takes out an axe with a large, chipped blade as you unsheath both your rapiers. Taking rapiers to an axe fight hardly bodes well for a swordsman. The winner is normally the quickest draw. This will be the key to your success or failure.
Ja, also im Grunde ist die Aufgabe jetzt schon relativ leicht. Wir müssen eigentlich als Erster zuschlagen. Ich bin bloß am Überlegen quasi, ob es so sinnvoll ist, jetzt ihn hier quasi auf offener Straße zu töten. Also, so wie ich das jetzt verstanden habe, sind Kämpfe bis zum Tod in der Arena verboten, aber Ehrenduelle sind was anderes. Und der ist ziemlich sauer, dass er gegen unseren Freund Carcass verloren hat. Ja, ist ein ziemlich schlechter Gladiator, wenn wir ehrlich sind, dass er das jetzt hier auf die Straße tragen muss und dann auch noch jetzt uns hier dumm anpöbelt. Aber okay, wir schlagen zuerst zu. Sein Problem.
You move with exceptional grace in the light of dusk and the people's torches. Your rapier's tips jolt against your opponent as if brushing his arms. They leave deep cuts, and he breathes an animal-like cry. He charges in a raging attack, which you must avoid.
Block the blow with your rapier and counter the attack oder divert the blow with your rapier and counter the attack. Also divert? Ich weiß nicht, also blocken ist sicherlich eine blöde Idee. Divert heißt wahrscheinlich quasi ablenken. Also eine Axt mit einem Rapier zu blocken ist eine saublöde Idee.
It's a smart move. You could never parry such a heavy blade. You manage to divert the blow, immediately wounding the arm wielding the axe. The gladiator loses his grip on the weapon and drops to his knees. He's panting, foaming from the mouth.
Bastard!
He mumbles.
Wir könnten ihn töten oder einfach ihn leben lassen. Und ich würde sagen, wir lassen ihn leben. Er ist betrunken und vielleicht lernt er noch was daraus. Ich hoffe, das ist keine Fehlentscheidung.
Leave now, and don't you dare come back. You threaten your enemy.
You're making a mistake,
He replies. If you want another match with the snake, come look for me. The crowd hushes, including the bald man you just defeated. Nobody had recognized you after all these years. Your nickname is a legend. The man suddenly springs up and runs, as the mob disappears at once. Only Carcass remains.
I don't know what happened, but you must have had your reasons,
Says your friend. I don't want to talk about it. It's not what I'm here for.
You still got it.
Carcass adds. As a matter of fact, blood is boiling within your veins, and old habits are emerging. Let's go eat. You try to change the topic.
Let's go inside. I have an offer for you.
So do I.
Ich sehe das folgendermaßen, Leute, warum man diesen Typen verschonen kann. Wir müssen jetzt hier keine Schuld auf uns laden und eventuell vielleicht sogar noch Ärger mit der Stadtwache bekommen. Ein Typ wie der wird wieder diesen Fehler machen und dann soll jemand anders ihn töten. Ganz einfach. Vielleicht war es auch ein Fehler, den wir begangen haben, vielleicht war es der falsche Zeitpunkt für Gnade, aber wir kennen den Typen halt auch einfach nicht gut genug. Vielleicht war es ein Fehler, vielleicht auch nicht. Reden wir mit Carcass.
You sit to drink some ale and eat stew with potatoes, laughing and joking as two old comrades in arms. But actually, you met Carcass only when the war with Triumvar was at its end. Your friend was still an outlaw. He joined your cause and fell in love with Melanir, but he always respected her bond with Ulist. Maybe that's why he chose to change his life once the war was over. Now you're sitting at the same table, talking of bygone feats. Carcass is more talkative than you, as you prefer listening, but it's still an enjoyable moment. Besides, you just got a good taste of fencing in a duel, which was thrilling. Who knows? This might be the way to find someone stronger than you. It's been your goal all your life.
So, Daragast, why'd you come looking for me?
For Raymond and the Resistance. I want to recruit my old friends and convince them to join the cause. Will you? The man bursts into a genuine laughter.
Hell no. I don't want to get into all that stuff again. I like it here. You shouldn't have gotten mixed up either. The hermit's life suited you.
You saw this answer coming. You invoke your old friendship and what just happened outside the inn between you and his opponent. Come on, Carcass. You're much more than a simple gladiator. You've always had moral integrity, and I don't think you could stand what Leon has become. Besides, I just faced a brute only for the crime of being your friend. You can't turn me down like this. The massive man looks at you seriously, all traces of humor gone from his face.
You're right. You accepted the challenge from me, and yes, there's more to me. But rebel causes aren't my forte. Last time, there were too many deaths. Of course, I can't really refuse. Unless you're willing to accept my offer.
Let's have it. You invite him to talk. You want to hear more.
I noticed you're still a good fighter, and your name is still impressive. You just need to say it with the right timing. You might have a future as a gladiator. Before you do, though, you'd have to restore its splendor here in Athenios.
Carcass begins. Where do you want to get to?
To the Teboshi arenas, where the real money is, where we could be kings.
You know those arenas far too well. You've been there as a slave, and made your way to freedom one fight at a time. There are no rules. All fights are lethal. You feel a thrill as you keep thinking of finding the man who could defeat you.
Come with me. Let this resistance thing go.
Oh Gott, was für eine gemeine Entscheidung. Jetzt sollen wir hier... Er will unbedingt, dass wir nochmal... also er schließt sich uns nur an, wenn wir im Grunde mit ihm nochmal in eine Arena gehen, in der die Regeln ausgehebelt sind, in der man auch bis zum Tode kämpft. Oh Gott. Ich hätte ihn schon gerne an unserer Seite. Lass es uns versuchen. Oder? Oder wann würde er sagen... Wann würde das für uns passieren? I know before you do, though, you have to destroy its splendor. Oh Gott. Das sieht beinahe so aus, als ob wir da quasi dauerhaft hingehen sollen. Hey, das können wir nicht machen, tut mir leid. Wir nehmen sie als Entschuldigung.
No, Carcass. If I were to accept your offer, I could never see the woman I care for again. Your friend nods.
All right, then. I'll come to Ismarin. I'll join your cause yet again, Daragast. I just hope I won't come to regret it.
I'll be leaving tomorrow. I have a few things to tend to first. Then we'll meet in the forest in a few days' time. Raymond will welcome you with open arms. You finish eating and take your leave. Whatever happens now is a shot in the dark. Meanwhile, you hope to rest, as you deserve.
Also ich glaube, so langsam aber sicher verstehe ich quasi, also die Anchoran scheint eine gute Entschuldigung zu sein, um quasi die alten Freunde davon zu überzeugen, dass man halt ihre Angebote nicht annehmen kann, weil nicht aus egoistischen Gründen, so nach dem Motto so, ich will halt einfach nicht, sondern ich würde, aber es geht hier nicht alleine nur um mich, sondern da gibt es auch einen anderen Menschen und so weiter und so fort. Und das scheinen sie zu verstehen. Und ich meine, Daragast ist auch schon eher so ein älterer Haudegen. Ich denke, sie gönnen ihm das einfach. Sie gönnen ihm das quasi auf seine alten Tage, dass er vielleicht doch noch jemanden gefunden hat. Etwas Liebe im Leben. Nicht immer nur Tod. Und für andere da zu sein, was er im Grunde ja eigentlich als Barde im Grunde ja eigentlich auch immer nur tut. Ich denke, das ist der Grund, warum sich die Freunde dann doch anschließen. Wir werden beim nächsten Mal, wenn ihr wollt, hier zum Resistance Camp zurückkehren. Seid dabei? Und ich bin mal gespannt, wie lange ich jetzt das hier noch mache. Ich muss natürlich auch jetzt erstmal beobachten, ne, wie das Ganze bei euch ankommt. Und wenn ich sehe, dass ihr das Ganze hier feiert, das werde ich hoffentlich bis dahin gesehen haben, dann zeigt mir das einfach durch die Views, durch die Likes. Und dann werden wir auf jeden Fall auch fortfahren. Also, macht's gut. Wenn ihr wollt, vielleicht bis zum nächsten Mal. Tschüss und Ade.